Okay, now we're going to look at exercises, and we're looking at number 2. Let x be the number of times a heads is tossed given n equals 8 trials. So we toss a coin 8 times. That's what we're saying. So we toss a coin 8 times, and each of those times is called a trial. So we can use the formula, the probability of x is equal to k, say, which means k would be the number of heads you toss, equals n choose k, p to the k, 1 minus p to the k power. Okay, so before we actually go on to the problems, let me explain this. Well, no, let's go ahead and start, and then I'll explain it as we go. Okay, so find, so this is part A, and then part A has this bullet point, the probability x equals 0. Okay, so this is the probability that no heads are tossed. Which is k equals 0. Don't do that. Okay, so if we're using the formula, which actually I don't even recommend we use because we can use our T83 calculator. Okay, using the formula, we have that k is equal to 0, n is equal to 8. Now, p is equal to 1/2 is the probability of heads, which is success. So that's the probability of heads. And then this part right, I'm using this formula right here. So if I have 1 minus p, that's the probability of not getting heads. And so the probability of x equals 0 is equal to n choose k, which is 8 choose 0, 1/2 to the k power, which is 0, and then 1 minus 1/2 to the 8th power. And we can use a calculator to evaluate each of these terms. So it turns out that 8 choose 0 is 1, 1/2 to the 0 power is 1, and this is 1/2 to the 8th power, which is 1 over 256. So we can use this formula and use the calculator, but I am going to talk about and sort of trying to get you guys to use the TI-83. Okay, so on the TI-83, I know how to do it, and then when I start trying one more time, I sort of fumble about, sort of. But anyway, for the TI-83, I'm going to go second distribution, and then all the way down to 0. Well, it's after 9, I think they mean it's 10, and that's binomial PDF. Be careful on the TI-84, I think it's A, but don't do this. That's binomial distribution function. So we're going to go second distribution 0 binom PDF, and then you click on this. Now this is the part where I sometimes forget what to do because you have three numbers you need to put in there. You need to put n, which is 8. You need to put the probability p, which is a half. So the p is the probability that you just draw one heads. And then you need to put in how many heads we're looking for, k. But so the thing is sometimes I forget the order if I haven't done this for a while, which to me would make sense. I mean, it's sort of, I mean, it's beyond this, like it's not really useful. If you're using the calculator, it's useful. Otherwise, it's a little bit useless information. But anyway, so this is p is going to be 1/2. So the order is n, p, and then k. Let's see if that works. And you have to put commas. So you can't really see that very well, but oh, there we go. So I'm going to put in 8, comma, 1/2. But you can put 1/2 or 0.5. Let's do 1 divided by 2, comma, and then 0. Okay, let's see if we get an error. No, it got something. And that's, I got 0.003900625. There's a way to, if I want to check my answer to see if I got 1/256, there's a way you can write math. I think I can do this. Math, number 1 is to make it into a fraction. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it did 1/256. Or I could take my answer above here, 1/256, and put that in the calculator. So, but you're fully welcome to put in this you know, the decimal answer. No reason to make it into a fraction. And okay, so let's just do one more and then maybe move on to the second video. Okay, let's look at the probability that x is equal to 1. So this means one head was tossed. All right, so this is what we can do. All right, so this might seem a little bit cheating or something, but for the TI-83, if you've already done, if we already found probability x equals 0 on the, okay, so on the TI-83, then press second, so second, and then entry. Now when I do that, it's going to be the last thing I brought up, which is not really what I'm interested in, answer fractions. So I'm going to do it again. Second entry, and then I'm going to get what I want, which is binomial, PDF, all that junk. So you have to do it twice, actually, because I had fiddled around doing other stuff. But okay, so I have second entry, and what it brings up is the last problem. But what I do is I edit this. So I take these arrows and toggle over, and I just edit those. And so I still, that's an 8. So you do 8. 8 stays the same. 1/2, that's the probability p is the same. And so I just change that to a 1, and I get an answer. So second entry, this will bring up binom PDF 8 1/2 0. You might have to do this. You might have to put in second entry more than once. So then what we're going to do is we're going to use those you know, those arrows. Well, I already said this, but I'm going to write it down. To edit. And when we edit, then we want binom. This is supposed to be an F here. Binom PDF 8 1/2 1, and then we press enter. And what did we get? We got 0.03125. So the probability of getting exactly 1 heads is this. It's around 3%. This is the probability of tossing 1 heads or 1 head out of 8 coin tosses.